Hey guys, Landon the Hedgehog here, and well, I mean, or you might as well call me severely underrated being because, well, let's face it, that's basically what I am. And welcome back to another reaction video. Now, I may seem like I'm not that energetic, but well, one, it's getting dark outside, and two, well, the underrated part speaks for itself. But I'm not gonna let that stop me. Also, I think I'm gonna react to a video where someone actually rates every single Sonic Forces level, worst to best slash least to greatest, however you want to call it. The original the I can't even speak. The original video will be in the description below. But it's not wasting any more time.
You know, I've never used drill on this part. Never today, it seems. With Frontiers on the horizon and clearly reusing some assets, I thought, why not return to the most recent mainline Sonic game and rank all the stages? It's been nearly 5 years since Forces came out, dear God, and I haven't
Now it's
played
been over
fully in about 4.
5 years.
Now I've spent a collective 15 hours playing nothing but Forces levels to compare. And I'm about to lose it. I can certainly articulate my review a little different nowadays. The final verdict in my old videos still rings true. I'm right in the middle on this game, and I've optimized how to squeeze every ounce of joy possible from it. So pull up a chair. You're probably already in one. This is every stage from
I'm
Sonic
laying down
Forces
on my
rank,
bed.
from least to greatest. Was it fun? Am I compelled to come back to it? Did it leave any lasting impact on me? Will I ever truly recover from this? These are the
Everyone after
questions I
finishing
ask
Sonic
myself
06.
repeatedly, and I want to sleep.
Me during every school
That's right, we're
day.
kicking off with an avatar stage. There are 2 ways that you'll see me play as this character. One is with a flamethrower and a game-changing perk that gives me a boost up to max speed when I stomp in a direction, and the drill, so I can do this. This keeps the
Oh
pace
yeah, the
moving,
drill
leaving
is
you time it,
really OP when it comes to speed running.
Unfortunately, Spaceport is still a tutorial level at the end of the day, so there isn't much you can do in the way of casual speed running. This drill skip is about as fun as it gets. The rest is extremely automated. There's a quick time event that I've seen far too many times to get excited for. Even the rail grinding at the end is taken from Tropical Resort and is over
Oh
in
my
Flash.
god.
Of course, if you look up an actual speed run, it's crazy, but I'm not going to use that as a metric for us commoners. There is a certain degree of casual speed running that's expected from this franchise, but anything more is going to have to be off limits. I got to draw the line somewhere. Number 38, Reverse Block 1. Gotta love these titles. Our first of 13 bonus stages you can unlock, which are all completely 2D, 30 seconds to a minute, and may or may not revolve around some gimmick we saw in colors. Bold of them to include
May or
bite-sized
may
stages in a
not.
game made of bite-sized stages, but I actually like some of these, as you'll soon find out. This one not so much. You're under the right, stomp a couple times, use the bird's double jump to take a minor shortcut, flame a bunch of robots in a big square room, and then it plays itself out before half a minute can even pass. They really like throwing a bunch of rings at you at the end of these, like a last-ditch effort to get you excited. Here, have some rings. You like rings, don't you? Tell me you're having fun. Yeah, there isn't much going on here. The yellow reappearing cubes do have an oddly satisfying sound effect, but the reappearing nature of them doesn't really come into play. Your ability use is restricted. You can't torch the place and stomp everywhere. That's about the extent of it. But now I'm just hopping on blocks for not even half a minute. Number 37, surprise, surprise, Reverse Block 2. This one is a bit better. The intro's kind of bland, but the disappearing act does come into play more this time. You gotta be quick before the enemy shoots.
Try being this level as Supersonic.
There's some danger with the pits, and I like boosting over this group, but it's still very short and boxed in. Number 36, Vanish Panel 1. This is about as simple as it gets, ladies and gentlemen. The platforms vanish. So jump. There you go, that's the level. Sonic doesn't have his boost, so there's nothing in the way of short.
Unless you use Supersonic, that is.
How fast you can press the jump button after landing and not falling short. It does have a nice flow to it, though. There's a consistency here that the previous stages lacked, without any automation until the end either. But you know what? It's missing something. The rings, thank you. Number 35, Bomb Block.
Oh my god.
Still no boost and another timed
Doing this with Supersonic and you will be traumatized.
So you gotta be quick. You've seen this before. It's not hard, but there is some mild tension and payoff for making it through. A couple shortcuts for breaking these grates. An attempt at a mini challenge was made. Just don't stomp right here. Number 34, Final Judgment. A final stage so anticlimactic I forgot to even include it in my review when talking about all the stages.
And
the
that
quick
is a
section
big
at the beginning is
yikes.
tight and by far the highlight. Instant kill spike wheels, terminal velocity laser bots, hard to grab collectibles.
Terminal
Some
velocity
stakes
is still
here.
one of
Although
the
your
best
instincts
final
sometimes
worlds
don't
in,
get read,
in
you
Sonic
have to
Hunters.
double tap or succumb to the Reaper. I don't know how that got in there. Then there's a brief moment where you dodge electricity on the rails, only time in the game this ever happens. But then we fight a mini boss, so to speak, that doesn't really fight back and then double boosts our way out, which is
And it
basically
ripped off
sucks
Sans.
away more time than it deserves. Number 33, Bomb Block 2. Since we're playing as the Avatar this time around, we get to make use of that lovely stomp boost, and it gets a surprising amount.
I don't
of time.
even do
It
the
slows
stomp
down
boost.
when you're waiting for the bombs to detonate. It tries to get all puzzly on you, but
I've
the moving
stunned
to
multiple
around is a
times,
nice
but
improvement
I
for
never
its
gained the
situation.
boost,
Number
so
32, Casino Forest. There he is, the man of the hour. I had to think for a
or the
long
mo-
time
or
what
the
my least favorite
moth.
classic Sonic stage was, and it made sense to go with the most physics-based one. To its credit, the pinball physics are better than the slope ones. But like a real casino, how happy I am can be left up to chance. Sometimes I get a lucky break, and others a sick joke. It usually behaves
Like
itself.
I'm
It's not
always a
frustrating
sick
level,
joke.
but it is kind of bland. There isn't much application for the drop or spin dash compared to the others, and the lack of pinball accurate collision really kills the vibe. Number 31, Laser Cannon 1. Another timed obstacle, a running theme by now. Gotta wait for the laser to clear out and get through fast enough before the next one catches up. It's a similar tension as escaping the bombs, but this is the kind of cycle-based gameplay where if you leave at the right time, you'll never have to wait because everything will be perfectly in rhythm with you, so long as you don't mess up. There's a weird automated part halfway through as if it needed to remind us that we're playing Sonic, and it's obviously very short still, but this feels like a game. It's a solid idea with a good flow to it. I could see this being used again. Number 30.
Yeah.
Fire Cannon 2. Very similar to the previous one, only now we have fire pillars that turn on and off, so leaning more towards the red light, green light effect.
Squid Game?
Telegraph, which is kind of awkward. It can be a nightmare at first, I won't lie. But like the lasers, there's minimal waiting when you catch it on a good cycle. The stage is a bit longer, and the sense of direction is more varied. You're not just going to the right, you're going all over the place. It does get padded out with more automation as a result, but it's a decent challenge that feels good to narrowly escape. Number 29, Chemical Plant. The legend continues. Give credit where it's due, all of Classic Sonic's levels have pretty decent design when it comes to multiple pathways, red ring hiding spots, and moderately high-speed platform. The drop dash is a saving grace for his gameplay because you aren't gonna go fast without it. Chemical Plant in particular is notorious for showing off how unaccommodating the Force's control is for typical Sonic antics. You can die on this hill if you want, but Lord knows you won't gain speed running down it. There are a lot of roads and roadways that lack the sensation necessary to justify their existence. But like I said, it is fun trying to find the fastest route, and there are some good drop dash opportunities. When you're not underwater, the pace is acceptable. Number 28, Fire Cannon 1. Once again, controlling the Avatar gives us that glorious stomp boost, allowing for a seamless gameplay experience. I really enjoy the flow here. The vertical climbs are still quite basic, and the whole thing is gimmicky and short as expected, but this is one I don't mind replaying. Number 27, Flying Pod. No number for this guy, I guess one was enough. This is
Thank God there
essentially
isn't a
better
Flying
reverse
Pod 2.
There's less automated fluff in the beginning and some pretty tight platforming that's easy to mess up. It's still very short, and the spike ball in the beginning has RNG that can mess up your run over and over and over. My God.
I know how you feel, man.
I found value in using momentum to reach this platform, retaining enough boost to take this shortcut, risking it all, so I can't believe I made that. Number 26, Luminous Forest. Legend has it if you look up what a straight line is in the dictionary, you just get a picture of this. Perhaps the most popular example when demonstrating the absurd boost to win quality Forces adopted. And it's not hard to see why. The opening is 18 straight seconds of waiting for the level to start. The ending, I kid you not, is a full minute of boosting and a snake QTE. Honestly, I just let Sonic die here. It's more entertaining. This is a 90-second where 78 of those seconds are automatic. This would be at the very bottom if it wasn't for a single redeeming 2D section. The top is fine, but I love soaring over the bottomless pits down low.
Like a daredevil.
One of the most fulfilling things I've done in this game. Look how clean these movements are, nailing every jump, maintaining that forward momentum. The endorphins are pulsating. I fear nothing else will ever satisfy me again. Alas, an 8-second clip can't save an ultimately broken foundation. Farewell, Sonic. 25, Lost Valley. A real toss-up between which of these two holds your hand more, but I decided that Lost Valley offended me less because I actually have to jump in the beginning. There's no quick time event, and as the intro stage, it at least makes more sense for it to be simple. Doesn't excuse another 18 seconds of holding forward in the beginning and 30 more at the end, but I kind of have to take what I can get here. Once
Yeah.
again, the 2D section saves the day, although not as buttery smooth. I do like quickly nabbing all the red rings in stylish efficiency. Number 24, Arsenal Pyramid. Right off the bat, I will praise it for being fully 3D, a rarity to say the least. Sadly, that's a bit of a monkey's paw in this game. The beginning and ending are straight lines with a double boost. However, the middle has you platforming across gears. Now, the normal way is nothing special. It's when you use the quick acceleration to skip that filler when it gets fun. This is
Like,
classic
seriously,
Sonic
if I
speedrunning
tried to
at
do
its
that,
finest.
I
You've had step
die.
edge jumping to take a shortcut, boost jumping, and now stomp jumping. It's pretty fun. It's only 3 short sections, but it's a start. Number 23.
I just use the lightning wrist and call it a
Much
day.
more involved than the first. We've got stomping, platforms disappearing beneath us, and a decent runtime at 40 seconds. It's
The
got all
entire
charm
game
and
in a
speed
nutshell,
and
basically.
fun, but with next to no automation to speak of. It's a miracle. The only things slowing it down are some basic platforming, waiting for panels to vanish so you can go down, and the obligatory short runtime. But I think it does a good job at maximizing the highs and minimizing the lows of what I've shown you so far. Number 22, Prison Hall. Somehow they managed to invert the quality for this stage where the beginning and end are the best, and the 2D section is where it goes on autopilot and gives in to generic waiting on elevators and hitting springs. While a shame that drifting is automatic, feeling the weight of the character as I steer onto the ramp has always had a good payoff. And the quick stepping at the end is typical modern Sonic bliss. Number 21, Aqua Road. This was an area that I really liked for the variety alone. It was refreshing to have a fully 3D stage that wasn't just running. You ride a water slide for most of it, steering to keep from going off course and grab any collectibles. It throws a lot of twists and turns.
Wait, so, hang on.
That have me struggling against the current, and to be honest, I'm always hoping that I get flung off so I can make a style.
Hey, that's what I did.
Unfortunately, that's the extent of it. What could have been an intricate water park of pathways and shortcuts is, once again, a straight shot before the song can even finish one loop. Number 20, Eggman's Facility. In other words, a better Aqua Road. More hazards on the main path, a golden beetle that you can hit 3 times to make a 10 ring.
Shadow told me how difficult it was for him to complete episode Shadow.
Where you have some control over how many
And it's thanks to this in virtual reality alone.
And flying off the side is a thrill as always. But the problems with the original still ring true. Number 19, Death Egg.
Oh look, Sonic and Knuckles Death Egg. Oh, and speaking of S3K, I will still get to it, don't worry. I haven't cancelled it.
Overthinking is a very real curse. Let's get this out of the way. There are some parts here that royally suck, like the auto-scroller where you can stay in the middle and never have to jump, the time-consuming loops, and general lack of satisfying movement. However, the way the various pathways interconnect and are accessed is pretty cool. There are 3 substantially different routes you can take to clear it with a lot of shortcuts and red rings tucked away in clever spots. It has that classic Sonic theming where I am discovering new ways to beat it all these years later, and it is possible to avoid most of the auto-scrolling, so I think it fits comfortably at the midpoint of my list. Number 18, Plasma Cannon 2. Yeah, bonus stages aren't done yet, people. This is where they start to get really technical. Thanks to a hidden boost capsule down below, the whole dynamic changes from a static running speed to maintaining your boost, and using the one new ability Forces has to its name, the upwards air boost. The plasma cannons create a similar stop-and-go timing challenge as the lasers and fire pillars, but I like this one the most because you can technically go in between the projectiles, meaning there is a legitimate bullet hell aspect at moments. And there is an escalation of difficulty where you face 1 cannon at a time, then 1 over a pit, 2 at a time but over solid ground, 3 over solid ground, and then 2 over a much more dangerous gap. This is a good one, even if still kind of short and gimmicky. Number 17. Egggate. I used to love this stage a lot. I remember it being a highlight for me and always replaying it. But really, it was just that one part over the moon with that Final Rush looking 3-way rail that won me over. The level teases you with options that you know you can try on a second attempt, which is very exciting for us Sonic players. It's just a shame that it doesn't last for more than a handful of seconds, and the only other 3D section is completely on rails.
Seriously, I don't know, can you do these skips without dying?
The 2D sections in between are alright, decent speedrunning techs like how the blocks pop up when you touch them, so it's more optimal to boost over. But overall, it evens out to be a moderately pleasant excursion. Number 16, Mortar Canyon. I may have loved Egggate back in the day, but I adored Mortar Canyon. It was a glimpse of what I
Yeah, I
wanted
think
the entire
Mordenkainen was
game to be like.
was somehow good too.
Multiple pathways, effective use of the air boost, phenomenal music. One of the best final level themes in the franchise, and the environment is daunting. My favorite aesthetic in the game, and I love how the dominant color palette of off-white, green, and purple just so happens to be the same as the three main enemy types.
Ain't
Sadly,
that a
the
coincidence?
astronomical caveat in this bustling finale is that it may be the most boost to win stage of them all. It's a straight shot of tearing through enemy lines with no 2D section to slow it down, an air boost trick that nullifies what little content remained, and the shortest runtime for a main stage. You can beat it in under a minute. The only reason why it's as high as it is on here is because the impact that it left on me can still be felt to this day, and I think that means something. I do like hopping around and taking in the atmosphere. It's the only level I care to do it in, and it's the only way to hear the best part of the song. The downwards canyon slope is a style we haven't seen since City Escape, Final Rush, and Egg Fleet. It's an awe-inspiring structure that carries the stage, because if I was judging it on level design alone, I would not have been as nice to it. Number 15, Laser Cannon 2. On the opposite side of the spectrum, we have another bonus stage, evolving the laser mechanics further. The Avatar Stomp boost sees a lot of play, and the cycle-based flow state gameplay is back in action. Teeny bit of unnecessary automation towards the end, but followed by my favorite trick in the run. Stomp jumping off a tiny platform to skip a major time stall.
Stomp jump? That's a thing?
Of course, we're back to half.
Okay, somebody needs to teach me
Of course,
this.
it really is a pick your poison between longer stages that hold your hand too much, and really short stages that can challenge you, but only in 2D. Speaking of which, number 14, Plasma Cannon 1. Our final bonus stage, and one that I've taken a strong personal interest in. Don't blink though, because you will miss it. I've gotten this thing down to 21 seconds.
How in the... Okay, I can understand the stomp boost thing that you did, but how?
You're going down for a lot of it, so stomping gets used most of the time. There's no automation besides a few springs and a grapple point. The plasma cannons create that same cyclical gameplay I like so much, and perfecting the tiny hops at the end brings me nothing but joy. Number 13, Capital City. Here's a stage that radically improves when you choose the Drill Wispin. Lots of boring combat moments get turned into spectacular displays of destruction, saving you a lot of time.
For whatever reason, I had a lot of time timing my Drill Wispin.
Brief 2D segment. Of course, they could only achieve that via straight lines, automatic drifting, quick stepping, and rail grinding, but it's an improvement. The concurrent theme of infinite messing with you throughout the whole stage is a great idea too. Giant nightmare infinite creatures breaking terrain, running on buildings. This is fun. This feels like they wanted to make a video game. Number 12, Guardian Rock. Unlike half the Avatar stages, this one is actually pretty fun the normal way. You can use Burst for some red ring grabs, sticking to the upper path, which thankfully doesn't go on autopilot too much, and being a fully 2D stage until the end lets you use the Stomp to great effect again. Drill is still the way to go in my opinion.
Yes.
There are some crazy skips in here, but both methods yield a good time. Either way, you'll have to endure this quick step section at the end, followed by a 20-second QTE that plays itself out to the goal. So unfortunately, it ends
Which
on
copies Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back?
Ghost Town. Believe me, I'm just as surprised.
I am not singing that song.
And he's not even done yet. What can I say? I guess I've
Plus, I've already done a cover of Ghost Town before.
Being fully 2D does help with the automation problem, but it's also not Green Hill or Chemical Plant again. It's an original city level. The sunset still looks great, and the giant robots in the background causing wreckage add to the atmosphere. It's pretty dense, too. Being on the top or the bottom is a very different...
This is a level where you need a 60-second requirement.
Sticking to the top is optimal, of course, and I love how snappy it is. Knowing where to hop, where to dash, which loops to avoid. It's a tight sequence of inputs that makes it a joy to memorize and execute. Number 10. Green Hill. Let's forget that whole thing about Ghost
What
Town.
a coincidence.
Again, all right, because this isn't just Green Hill. This is Green Hill, Green Hill.
The number 10 pick is stage number 10. I call that irony.
It has by far the most drop dash application of any classic stage, and that saves it for me. Look at this high energy opening, perfectly jumping into the speed shoes, not on, but in, so my flow doesn't get disrupted. Soaring over what could be a slower platforming section, and while yes, the middle does drag a bit with waiting for springs and falling platforms, it ends with another speed shoe sprint. And again, the drop dash makes it all work. It changes everything.
He said, but he did not use the drop dash at the end.
Back when we all thought this was going to be the first stage, and that's why it looked so simple. Turns out it was the most honest marketing the game could have had, as what we saw was literally what we got.
Yeah.
And I still find a considerable amount of enjoyment here, even if it's not a complex stage. The 3D is mainly a bunch of homing attack chains, and the platforming is exactly what it looks like. But it's a reasonably chill romp through a pleasing environment. We're back in the city, the music sets a good tone, and I like grabbing all 5 red rings in a single run. Sometimes a good pace can go a long way. Number 8, Network Terminal. While the rail grinding in the beginning is kinda hollow, I've always appreciated the outdoor appearance. It almost doesn't even look like Chemical Plant anymore. The frostbit towers and faint snowing create an
Seriously, what's in it with these skips?
Inside is where it gets good, though. There are a lot of hidden shortcuts under these grates that take you to different parts of the stage. The platforming is very timely and considered. You can't just boost through. Honestly, it feels like one of the bonus stages got incorporated into a main one. Waiting for chemical spills to pass can get tedious when nothing else is happening, but I get the impression that they really tried here. It just got cut short like everything else. Number 7, Park Avenue. When it comes to levels that get drastically changed by an ability, it doesn't get more one.
Of course, that stomp
the
boost.
standard play here kinda sucks, I gotta be real. Not as bad as Spaceport, there's no QTE, but it embodies a lot of problems with the avatar. Minimal, generic 3D, disposable enemies, spamming the same Wisp power, and the Stomp Dash doesn't offer much advantage. With Drill in your hands, however, this transforms into something infinitely greater. There is not a moment where I'm not charging my next move, taking a massive shortcut in the process.
I suppose that's how my friend Augustin manages to complete these stages faster than me.
I'd rather be boosting at that point. In fact,
He uses the drill
whisper,
whisper,
just way more powerful. You can do it in midair and off a slope. You will become God. That brief moment of
but not really.
the slightest skill ceiling, because if you can't mash it in time, you could start losing altitude and miss your window to take that shortcut. It's so much fun. I wish more levels were built around it instead of it feeling like a cheat code. Number 6, Imperial Tower. This was my favorite Avatar stage back in 2017, and that has remained unchanged. Funnily enough, I think I prefer playing it without drill because the platforming is competent. Feels great to run over at high speed, stomping comes into play, you're outrunning an instant kill laser by the end. This is a fairly complete stage. The structure is admittedly copy and pasted a lot, and the wall jumping feels a bit tacked on, like its main use is to transition you to a high point on the
And the sad part is, that's the only stage in the entire game you can wall jump.
Could have really used a 3D section to tie it all together, but that's not a very unique request, is it? Number 5, Null Space. Unlike Mortar Canyon, this stage has some substance to back up its hype. The double boost is a drag, but at least you get it over with right away with a rock and guitar solo to greet you. The abundance of rail grinding may look worrying at a glance, but you're
Not to mention, the actual null space takes up less than 20 seconds. So it's not much of a null space to begin with.
Hop around. It's 95% 3D, so
these skips, man. These freaking skips.
Or even minor ones strewn about. Everything connects in some way, offering a lot of variance in how you get to the end. Still too short and leaves me wanting more, but I have a good time every time here. Number 4, Enemy Territory. Shadow really got the good end of the deal here. All of his stages are better versions of pre-existing ones.
I can't really say this, but I have to agree.
Sunset Heights and a direct upgrade in nearly every way. The balloons that keep your momentum, spike balls that you gotta tread caution around, strings of enemies that you can zip across, almost like a light speed dash.
Yeah, that's almost how it looked like. Whenever Shadow told me about this.
I really wish he got to play through all of Sunset Heights. His 2D section is completely original, which is good, but for some reason uses the bonus stage crates everywhere, sucking out the originality in the art direction. Still, the pace is incredible and far more balanced than most modern stages. There's a good blend of stomping, boosting, air boosting, and homing attacks without one dominating your playstyle. Number 3. Oh boy, I know I've said I like this level, but
what is it?
How high it made it. And I'm the only one who likes it, so buckle up, because I'm about to redeem Force's Rage Quit Zone, Iron Fortress.
Oh no.
Sonic and the most difficult in the game. Unlike a lot of
it is difficult because of that friggin' auto-scrolling section. That's what killed me in that stage.
The dash panel without enough speed, the rockets will catch up to you. Could you believe 3 people worked on this? The regular rockets are just the right amount of
I wanted like,
they fly out unable to hurt you.
Oh, you know what, that voice crack. I wanted like 5 or 10 people to work on this. Not 3.
Plenty of speed. This is the one level where I think the physics work.
Again with the skips.
Curling on the gears to reach new heights. This isn't like Chemical Plant and Casino Forest where I'm constantly reminded how much better it could be. And I like the danger of it all. Keeps me on my toes and makes for a fun no damage attempt. Of course, I can't talk about this stage without mentioning the auto-scroller. This seems to be the breaking point for most people.
It was the
It's kind
breaking point of
boring,
me.
and it goes on for a full minute, but it does have a few collectibles and big jumps along the way to keep me from totally falling asleep. Then again, it's also thanks to this auto-scroller that Iron Fortress is the longest stage in the game, and feels the most complete as a result. It's not perfect, but man, I actually feel like I did something when I beat it. Number 2.
Yeah, that's true.
Metropolitan Highway. My favorite Sonic stage for a number of reasons. The graphics are breathtaking. Metropolis is one of my new favorite locations in all of Sonic. I want to run around this giant futuristic city in the sky. Also, a lot of automation can be skipped. Jumping over the rails at the intro for a mini shortcut. That bridge in the main 3D section is crucial.
I did not know about that
The
bridge.
is used constantly, skipping these platforms that normally take a second to transport.
It could be
But
that
unlike Mortar Canyon,
it could
you're
be
not
that I was
bypassing
playing the game on the
content.
Switch version.
There's a lot of
That did
time
not come.
saves
That did
happen
not.
frequently.
I
And
did
in
not see it.
general,
But
I love how
come
these
on.
platforms operate, snapping you into place, sometimes into danger, requiring you to bail out early. This is another mechanic that feels like it has a place here. It wasn't tacked on or overused, it's part of the stage. The music is jolly and energetic, it just feels good to play. Number 1. We're finally here. My favorite stage in Sonic Forces. Virtual reality.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
Shadow's final stage, and by far the most difficult to S rank. It has all
It
the
really
ingredients
is
that fit with
difficult.
enemy territory, but is clearly based on Guardian Rock.
Yeah,
Level
the
Sonic
only way
is
I
fast.
manage to
While
S
some
rank this is
platforming
through the
recycled,
daily
the outcome
bonus.
most is original. Even if they're still using those generic boxes. The timing element is the tightest it's been because now Infinite's trails of debris are floating around the stage, employing that cycle-based gameplay I gave praise to the bonus stages for. There are times where you might get stuck and have to wait, but find that you can beat it by being fast. The balloons and quick homing chains are put to good use again. You might actually have to jump some of the time without an enemy on the other side to home in on and save you. A bummer, it's completely 2D, but that's probably why there isn't as much automation here. And as I said, getting the S rank is tough. You need to know where all the goodies are and do it fast, preferably without taking damage. And when you do, it's a seamless run of calculated inputs that yield stylish results you could only achieve through mastery. On that note, that is my personal ranking of every Sonic Forces stage from least to greatest.
And everyone
By all
has their
means, if you
own
have any
opinion.
top picks or want to see me rank another game's stages, let me know. Until then, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, don't forget to check out the next episode whenever I post it, which will probably be soon. Alright? See ya. You know, I've never used...
Oh, I did not mean to restart that video. But, yeah, that's all for today. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to my channel, and I see more. I'm still underrated to this day. Bye.